Hey, what's going on, fight fans? Hey, this is Coach D the Wild Man coming at you again. Another episode of Coach D Media. Now, you know I do with Coach D Media. I talk about all things combat sports related, from the highs to the lows. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it. We're in a new year, and we're getting ready to head into our first tournament of the year for Gamma USA, which is Nationals, which is going to be at the Arnold Classic from February 28th to March the 2nd. So the question I got going on right now is, do we have enough talent in mixed martial arts to grow the sport? Now, you hear a lot that MMA is the fastest growing sport right now, and that's true. We are very new, so a lot of new eyeballs are seeing it on a regular basis. So it looks like it's growing pretty fast. But like I said, it's only 29, 30 years old. It's not really all that old. So we still have a long way to go to be able to grow like some of the other combat sports. Like, if you look at wrestling, look how long wrestling's been around, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, all these sports has been around for decades, right? We're still playing catch up as far as mixed martial arts is concerned. So when it comes to all the 50 states, MMA is not in every state, right? So we don't have gyms everywhere. Even though we have a large number of gyms, we have gyms in the thousands for mixed martial arts. But is it enough to grow the sport now that we have an official platform? So when it came to watching the UFC One Championship, Bellator, PFL, when it's watching the high-level pro sports, you only had so many matches per year. Even if you look at all of them competing at the same time, you're only going to get so many matches. Number one. Number two, they're all adults, right? And they have time to take between events. But now when you have Gamma USA and Gamma Worldwide, you have a lot more opportunities for athletes to compete. So you have the regionals for your up-and-comers, right? You're young, all the way up to 17, who's just getting started to learn their skills. We have regionals, which allows you to test the waters with mixed martial arts, see your skill set without ever having to worry about, stepping into a promotion, right? So any state that's under Gamma can put on a regional tournament. So you have time to really get your feet wet. So if you get plenty of regional tournaments going on a regular basis, you can compete on a regular basis, okay? Then from there, you go from regionals, now you're going into nationals. Now, nationals is a qualifier, right? With that qualifying, which means you can qualify to compete at a Gamma World Tournament. So if you qualify and you win gold or silver, first or second, that means you can compete at a world tournament, right? So there's plenty. So a world tournament happens at least once a year, okay? And nationals happens once a year. Most of the time, it's going to be a regional tournament. So you see, there's enough spaces for athletes to compete. Then if you're a high amateur, or a brand new pro, you have the Pan Am Championships that you can compete in, right? For Gamma Pan Am Championships, you have that. So you have other areas that you can compete. So we have enough going on. Now the question is, do we have enough developing talent to compete at the Worlds on a regular basis, even to compete at nationals, right? We're seeing a lot of the same gyms competing every year. Now we're looking for new gyms, but are there enough new gyms with talented athletes that want to compete at nationals? Okay, because we're up against, now that I'm looking at it, we're up against jiu-jitsu tournaments, we're up against wrestling tournaments because the season's coming in for wrestling. So we may be butting heads with athletes who would normally want to compete at the nationals, not being able to because of conflict with their wrestling career or their jiu-jitsu career. You know what I'm saying? So we have that going on too. And now realizing that even school can limit you in if you can compete at a national tournament or even at a world tournament, which seems to be the problem we had in 2024 with Indonesia. We had a lot of athletes that were having class conflicting schedules that schools were not allowing them to compete because they said they'll miss too many days and be considered truancy and things like that. So now we have to ask that question, where are we at with our development of talent? Do we have enough talent to compete on a regular basis, right? As we grow, because now you're not only competing locally against other people in the states, but when you qualify at nationals, now you're competing against world talent, who a lot of nations who are funded, their athletes train all year long. So with them training all year long, they're more sharper and more prepared to compete at a higher level, right? Ukraine being one. So the last podcast I did with Justin Brown, Ukraine beat everybody with this their youth team, which means they brought enough youth to win the majority of the gold medals that put them over everybody else for youth and amateurs. So what if they were able to bring their amateur team, which they weren't for some reason, they weren't able to bring their amateur team or their female fighters for amateur adults. So they're all able to bring youth, and they still swept us. So what if they had brought their whole team? Okay? They could have basically, outmatched everybody with not only with their numbers, but with their talent too. Ukraine is very well. They do very well, and they train all year long. So you see what we're up against with development. Getting all 50 states on board so that we can have multiple gyms training talent on a regular basis so they can compete at a regional tournament on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee with Duke Rufus, he puts on a regional tournament on a regular basis. We're now getting other gyms involved and put it on regional tournaments, which is what we need. So if you're a new gym and you want to put on a regional tournament, I recommend that you do it. Just hit up Justin Brown and he'll set you up. He'll come check out everything, make sure your gym can house it. Then bing, bang, boom, when you're off to the races, you can get your gym involved with Gamma USA. Now, what I've come to find out, me doing this for a while, gyms are competitive. They do not want to put their athletes, which are members of their gym, to go see other gyms because they think they may switch gyms or like another gym better or like another coach better, yada, yada, yada. We always have the gym politics. But the athletes still have to grow. You got to give them competing on a regular basis for them to grow, or they're not going to be progressing as fast as they need to be. So they have to compete. They're going to have to compete at regional tournaments if they're starting out. They're going to have to compete somewhere, right? So without, putting your pride aside and sending your athletes to different regional tournaments for them to get experience so that they can have enough experience to compete at the nationals to see if they can qualify. Okay? This is where the sport is going. The sport is growing very fast and you got to keep up. Right? Other nations are pushing at a faster pace because they have funding. They can do that. We need to do the same, right? So get ready. If you are trying to compete at nationals, hit up Justin Brown, go to the Gamma USA page, and figure out how to get your child qualified, right? If you want to compete overseas, internationally, you got to compete at nationals, right? This is what we got to do. If you want to get there, you want to grow the sport, you got to all get involved. So if you're a gym that's been on the sideline and waiting to see what's happening, we're there now, right? We got everything you need for your athletes to grow and progress, right? That's what you want to do. It's time to do it, right? So this is Coach D giving you the quick blow-by-blow on what's going on. We have nationals coming up, right? The Arnold Classic, if you've never been, it is one of the largest expos in the world. Columbus, Ohio, they do it big. You're going to have a great time. We're not only doing youth MMA, we're doing a kickboxing Muay Thai right next to us. So everybody can get on board and figure out what they're going to do. Kickboxing Muay Thai is another thing that Gamma helps represent that you can get involved with too. So it's not just youth and amateur MMA, right? You can get involved with kickboxing and Muay Thai as well. So there's more to do with Gamma, so you got to start doing your homework and research and find out what we're all about because you'd be surprised what all we get into, all right? This is Coach D breaking it down for you. Let's step it up. We got ways to go. We got things to do. Get on board. Once again, Nationals, Arnold Classic, Columbus, Ohio, February 28th to March the 2nd. If you haven't registered, get registered. Hit up Justin Brown if you don't know what to do. Right? He'll give you the 4x1. Go to the Gamma USA page on Facebook. Look for the website link. Click on it. It'll give you everything you need. All right. This is Coach D doing what I'm doing, calling it like I see it. To hear from me again, peace out.